Hi there. Welcome to A&P Labs at River Valley Community College. I'm Dr. Julie Robinson. I'm the department chair for the Biological and Health Sciences Department and one of the instructors for A&P. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of the syllabus, but you should read the entire thing. Yes, the entire syllabus at least once. And then I'll show you around Canvas. So if you're in A&P 2, the course is very similar to A&P 1 if you've taken it in the last year or so. So let's look at some important information. First, we will still be wearing masks and face shields if we're working less than 6 feet apart. You also need a functional computer because you will do some lab work online. Your lecture courses are online, at least for this spring 2022 semester. You will also take lab practicals and lecture exams online. So if you don't have a functional computer or you have issues with internet access, you can contact the library, Charlene Ashe or Laura Hanson. That information's here, and we'll do the best we can to help you out. So in most cases, you'll be assigned to lab group A or B so that we can keep the classes still a little bit small. And you will follow the schedule that's at the end of the syllabus, and I'll show you that in just a couple of minutes. So when you come to the lab, we will do exciting things. We'll play with slides, we'll play with models. I have a really fun new lab for A&P2 that involves digestive enzymes. We'll do some blood typing, brain dissections, heart dissections, and a kidney dissection. So we'll be doing some really fun stuff in the lab, and to prep for that, you should read the labs before you come. Like really, read the lab before you come to lab so that you know what you're doing, you can anticipate questions, and get the most out of your lab time. Whether your lab is in person that week or online that week, you'll always have a lab assignment associated with that. So in person, they will usually be on paper. If you're doing the online labs, there is a lab resources and tasks to complete page, which gives you learning resources and then literally the tasks that you need to complete. And sometimes that is a lab quiz that may involve putting pictures or video of things that you've done or data tables up there. The online practicals and lecture exams will use Respondus, which is a test proctoring software. We do watch the videos in fast motion, and if we notice that there is an issue or something that looks odd, we'll talk to you about it. If you need to make up a practical, please be sure to try to contact your instructor before the lab practical takes place. We understand that there are emergencies. A vacation is not an emergency, but if you have one, talk to us and let's see what we can do to get you back on track. If you need any classroom accommodations, please contact Nicole Milo. And I really want to talk about this part, right? You should expect to spend at least 2 to 3 hours outside of class time for every hour that you are in class. So for A&P Labs, that means you are in the lab for 2.5 hours per week, or you are doing a lab online for 2.5 hours per week, plus expect to do another 5 to 7.5 hours depending on how well you pick up the material, right? Some of us take a little longer to pick up material than others, and that's okay. That's just differences in how we learn. So do that studying consistently. A&P is a very hard course. It requires a lot of dedication. We have tons of resources to help you. We have tutoring services, and we also have practice documents. There are websites we give you to help you practice as well. So the best advice I can give you, and the best advice I've ever gotten when I've asked past successful students, is study consistently, pick a few times a week, study a few hours each time, and try to make sure that that time is yours. You deserve to give yourself the time to study and to really get comfortable with the material because it's foundational material for every other thing you'll do within human sciences. You should always send emails to your instructor through the Canvas inbox or through your Outlook college email. Sometimes if you don't, they go to the far beyond in my spam file and I will never see them again. Most of us try to respond in about 24 to 48 hours. So if you don't hear from us, just forward it, make sure that we got it. As far as academic integrity goes, we trust you. So please do your best, do your A, get your A your own way or the best grade that you possibly can. And don't forget to sign up for RVCC alerts. So if there is a closure of one of the buildings, generally, because we now have Zoom and Canvas, we will give you an assignment or hold a live online class through one of those venues. So this is an example of what the lab schedule will look like. And you'll see that Group A does a lab in person the first week and then 2 online sessions. Group B is doing an online session the first week, then they're coming into the lab in week 2. So you'll also see this in Canvas as well, the way we've set up the weekly modules. But if you have a question about, am I supposed to come in this week, especially if you're an A&P 1 and this is new to you, just ask us. We will be happy to help you figure it out. And now I'll show you what your course looks like in Canvas. So I've navigated from my Canvas dashboard here into my A&P 1 lab course, and you'll see there's a Start Here module with some valuable information. Yes, you will need to read it all. There is also a module that has a PDF copy of the lab manual, a couple of small errors that we found last semester. The lab kit documents, those are only for A&P 1. In A&P 2, there's no lab kit. You're doing some online physiology simulations, and there will be technical support links as well. So please follow those directions really carefully so that we can get your tech issues resolved as fast as possible. When you come into the course, you will land here, and at the bottom of the page, there's some really valuable information about a couple of different places where you can get tutoring. Smart Thinking is an online tutoring. I think they tend to tutor very late into the evening, like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. The ACT Center, the library, and then accessibility services. The Syllabus tab has the syllabus. Please read it. The other thing it has that's really cool, and you can see this in a couple of places, is it gives you a course summary. So it shows you all of the assignments that have been posted with due dates throughout the semester. So that's one place where you can see that. The other place is if you go to the calendar, you will also see the due dates for your classes, and you can color code those for different classes, and then just click on the link in the calendar and it'll bring you back to your class where the actual assignment is. One caveat: when you're taking a test or a practical with Respondus, do not navigate to it from the to-do list, either on the dashboard page or from here or from the calendar. You want to go into the module section and navigate to that assessment from that point. So let's look at the modules, because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. So down here, this is the first official week where we get to get into the lab material. So I'm going to show you what that looks like next to the printed schedule that's on the syllabus. Okay, so I'm looking at my printed syllabus in the bottom right corner, and then over on the left-hand side is what I'm seeing in Canvas. So you'll see for this Group A in the A&P 1 course, and A&P 2 works very similarly, you just have different types of assignments. Lab Group A is going to campus, and if you look over here, you'll see Group A, you're going to campus. They also need to do this Respondus syllabus quiz, which is really a quiz. It's meant to help you download Respondus, make sure that you're comfortable using it, that you've worked out any technical glitches before you get to a big assessment. Lab Group B is working online, and they're doing the Respondus Syllabus quiz and exercise 1. So if I go back over here to Canvas, you'll see Group B is doing online work, and then you'll see that they've got this lab resources and tasks to complete for Lab 1 and the Respondus Syllabus quiz. If I look at week 2, same kind of procedure, just a different week. So Group A is online. You can also see that in my syllabus. Group B is coming to class. So they're coming in to do the microscopy lab. So let's take a look at what's in the lab resources and tasks to complete. Before I show you the lab resources and tasks to complete, the secret word that you'll need for the Respondus Syllabus quiz is flurries. F-L-U-R-R-I-E-S, as in snow flurries, but it's just flurries. All right. So I clicked on this page in the modules, and here's where it brings me. So what I can learn from this page is I figure out what I'm doing in this lab, and remember this is for an online lab. There are the objectives for the lab, which are the study guide. That's what you should study. And then there are a bunch of learning activities that are carefully curated for you. So please do them to help you learn the material. And then once you feel comfortable with the material, then go take the lab assignment quiz, which may involve you having to upload some information, pictures. In this case, there's a picture that you will have to label and upload into the lab quiz. So if you are in A&P 2, the objectives are going to be found in a different place. In A&P 1 and 2, they are found in this lab resources page. For A&P 1, they are also found in the lab manual at the beginning of each lab. In A&P 2, you will have a lab manual and you will have a supplemental lab manual. So the supplemental lab manual will have the objectives in it, it'll have the resources in it, which look like this. And we're in transition for the A&P 2 lab manual. So if you have the 13th edition of the lab manual, keep that. You can bring it, use it. You don't need to buy a different one. If you don't have a lab manual for A&P 2, there is one in the bookstore that's an abbreviated version. It's only about that big instead of about that big. In that, you'll see which exercises we're doing in it, and the objectives for you are here in the supplemental lab manual. Same thing, they are still the study guide, they're just in a different location. The other thing that we have for both A&P 1 and 2 are several practice resources. For A&P 2, they are listed here. They're at the end of the electronic version of the supplemental lab manual. And for A&P 1, they are listed here and at the end of the lab manual itself. There are also for each lab additional websites and resources listed to help you study and practice the material, because repetition is the key, and you will carry the information from A&P 1 to A&P 2. So learn for a lifetime. So a few last important notes about Canvas. Your grades are here. Please keep track of your grades. We do our best to be accurate, but it doesn't hurt to double check your own grades. Ask your instructor if something looks a little strange. The People tab will show you what lab group you're in, so just click on that and then click on lab group A or B to see which one you're in. And then if you do have a Zoom session, which you may occasionally, click on Zoom and that will show you the links. So that concludes our tour. We look forward to working with you. We are so excited to see you in the lab.